Cybertron. Our home. Birthplace of the human— oh wait, shit, that's not how it's supposed to go.
One shall stand, one shall fall.
Oh boy. Man, it has been a long ass time since I did one of these. My last review was Dino Stalker, and that was when I took a look at the entirety of the Dino Crisis franchise, which I still treasure dearly to this day, except for Dino Stalker and Dino Crisis 3, and that one mobile game. But I had mentioned at the end of that video that I was gonna eventually review other stuff later down the road, but I needed to take a break from these kind of videos due to burnout because I do try to search all the information I can about these games. It may not come off as professional as you've seen from my recent reviews, but it gets the job done nonetheless. And I don't really tend to go into a deep dive of these games just like a lot of other channels do. That's not me. I just tend to wing it and talk about the game and speak my own opinions about it as I go along. Sound good? Okay, sound good. I said I took a look at the Spyro PS1 trilogy or Little Nightmares 1 and 2. Of course, I'm gonna be holding off on that since Little Nightmares 3 was announced not that long ago, and once that is out, I plan on taking a look at all 3 games in one video, or maybe do them all separately, but we'll see how it goes. But to be honest, I wasn't really in the best place mentally, and I just didn't have the motivation to do really anything. All I really did on my channel was just do character impressions and voiceovers. But now that I've taken a long enough break, I'd say it's time to get back to work. What do you say? No? Okay, fine, goodbye then. Nah, just kidding. I'm gonna do it anyways. Because I hate you. Today we're gonna be taking a look at a game that I really enjoyed as a kid and somehow did not lose my absolute fucking mind with until recently when I played through the whole thing on stream, Twitch's Violet Dark X3. So without further stalling, because I know some of you funguses hate that, let's dive into the world of the infamous Transformers the game on the PS2.
We have come.
Let's first talk about a few things before we delve deeper into this rotten apple full of cocksocks. Transformers the game was an action-styled adventure which of course was based on the 2007 movie directed by Michael Bay and was developed by none other than Traveler's Tales, who is mostly known for their catalog of LEGO games based on actual movies like Star Wars, Batman, etc, etc. And this isn't the first time they developed a movie tie-in game, as they have made titles like A Bug's Life, Finding Nemo, Toy Story, and they also developed 2 Sonic titles, which were Sonic R and Sonic 3D Blast. TF07 The Game was published by Activision, and part of me wonders what this game might have been like if Activision were the ones who developed it. Oh well, I guess we'll never know, and quite frankly, I don't care. The game closely follows the story of the film, depicting the Autobots and Decepticons' arrival on Earth following a war between them that ravaged their home planet of Cybertron. While trying to conceal their existence from humanity, both factions search for a powerful artifact called the Allspark, which could be used to restore Cybertron back to normality, or to enslave Earth's population. Honestly, with how the world's been going, I'd take the cons any fucking day. The game features a split campaign format, giving you the choice of choosing to join either the Autobots or Decepticons, and completing various missions for whichever faction you may have chosen. And now let me tell you, do these fucking missions grind my gears? Not all of them, but most of them. They grind me so hard, in fact, I can practically hear it in my nightmares, and that's worse than any form of torture I can think of. But we'll get to those lovely missions in a second, trust me. The game was released in June of 2007 for several different platforms and received mixed to positive reviews, so that's gotta mean something, right? The game can't be all terrible. Wrong! Traveler's Tales developed the game for the PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, Wii, PlayStation 3, and which I gotta say, they had a hell of a time making different ports of this game. Is it just me? That's 5 different systems right there, which of course is it's not really uncommon for most games, but still, it is a lot. I mean, I'm probably just exaggerating, I don't know shit about game development, but good Christ on a unicycle, that seems like a lot of work. Well, what do I know? I'm not a game chef. A PSP version was developed by Savage Entertainment, and it's... Oh, what in the name of Primus is this pile of bollocks? This is... yeah, it's, boy, I can't even make any clever joke for this. Like, this is genuinely... something. I'm sorry, I'm sure there are fans of this game, but... no, this does not make my bacon sizzle. It makes it have a panic attack. Yeah, we're done with this one. I'll take a look at it later. We have to. This is incredible. The game also received the DS version, which sold each campaign separately. Transformers Autobots and Transformers Decepticons, and Vicarious Visions being the same people behind the Crash Insane trilogy, Spider-Man 2000, and Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro. They were tasked with bringing the adaptation to the lovely handheld device, and after seeing the cutscenes and character interactions, dialogue, everything, thanks to my good friend Nidus Prime, go check him out because he does a lot of sweet Transformers related stuff. Okay, thank you. These 2 separate gems share some basic similarities, but overall feature different characters, missions, and locations. There was also a GameCube, Xbox, and Game Boy Advance version also originally planned, but they were later cancelled. I mean, I can't say I'm that disappointed because, come on, they already had 5 different ports of the main console version and 2 separate DS versions, along with the PSP versions. Bloody knackers. Like I said, they received mixed reviews upon its release, Game Rankings and Metacritic giving it a score of 55 out of 100 for the PC version, 56 out of 100 for the PS2, 53 out of 100 for the Wii version, 54 out of 100 for the PS3 version, 52 out of 100 for the Xbox 360 version, and 47 out of 100 for the PSP version. Again, why is there so many parts? The graphics and sound effects were apparently praised, and I will admit it, yes, the sound design and graphics look nice for this being a PS2 game. I don't have a problem at all with those two categories. The PS3 and Xbox 360 obviously being more HD in quality, but still the same game overall, so there's nothing really different there. And IGN's review named the graphics on the Wii version in the time of its release as the best on the system. I mean, yeah, I mean, I suppose if you wanna say that. Meanwhile, in the voice acting department, which is what I do as a hobby, hi! Peter Cullen provides the voice for Optimus Prime, alongside Frank Welker as Megatron, which is such a great treat. Of course, in the 2007 version, and Revenge of the Fallen and Dark of the Moon, we had Hugo Weaving. But then afterwards, we had Frank Welker in Age of Extinction and The Last Night. I absolutely love Frank Welker's Megatron, and no disrespect to Hugo Weaving, who originally played Megatron in all 3 Michael Bay movies. I really did enjoy his take on Megatron, but I can't help but just love Welker. It's the iconic voice, it's G1, Transformers Prime, etc, etc.
You disgust me.
Ironhide is voiced by Mark Ryan, the same VA for Bumblebee at the end of the 07 movie.
Permission to speak, sir. I wish to stay with the boy.
Andrew Kishino as Jazz, Fred Tatasciore as Ratchet, who would also later become the voice of Megatron in the Dark of the Moon PS3 game, War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron, and Rise of the Darkspark. But we're gonna ignore that because it doesn't exist.
Starscream! You imbecile! The Autobots are sure to have implemented a tracking system in their mech tech. You have led them straight to me! Hold your course! Starscream wouldn't fight with such desperation if the legends weren't true. Reroute all power to forward guns and thrusters. Full speed ahead. But sir, that's suicide. Any further objections? Coronation, Starscream. This is bad comedy.
Barricade, voiced by Keith David, who is also known for his role of the Arbiter from the Halo series.
Even on my knees, I do not belong in their presence. What would you have your Arbiter do?
We also have Daniel Ross as Starscream, Noah Nelson as Blackout, David Sobolov as Brawl, who has also voiced many iconic characters like Shockwave and Transformers Prime,
That's a big boy.
Depth Charge in the OG Beast Wars, Blitzwing and Bumblebee.
Did you think you could hide? Now you'll die screaming like your friend. B-127. As a member of the Autobot Resistance, You are a traitor to Cybertron, and are hereby sentenced to death. No!
And also Rhinox and Battletrap in Rise of the Beasties.
Someone give me a real fight! It's a fight you want? You got one.
Daniel Riordan as Bone Crusher, who you don't really hear that much of. To be fair, do you even hear any of him at all?
I need some support here. Starscream, get over here. I need backup. Get these worthless flesh bags out of my way, Starscream.
And Shia LaBeouf along with Megan Fox reprising their roles for this movie tie-in game. There were also some multiple flaws noted, such as the fucking wobbly, fucking troublesome camera that would tumble around, which was intended to give an effect of the walking of the bots themselves, repetitive missions, and I mean very, very repetitive missions. Clunky driving in the vehicle modes. I'm looking at you, Hoover. Damn! It was also stated that the game was too short and it had an unbalanced difficulty. Unbalanced? More like broken, like an elderly person's hips. And they also said older gamers find it too easy. Too easy? You played a Hoover Dam mission and you tell me just how easy it is, you floppy flaccid rotten bastard! While younger players apparently found it extremely hard to pass certain missions. Yeah, and somehow my younger self didn't snap the disc in half. Just kidding. I actually did that. Furthermore, although there were few complaints about it, the main console versions of the game lack multiplayer modes, which I imagine would have probably been fun, though there is multiplayer on the DS and PSP versions. A man by the name of Maurice Branscombe commended the game for looking good and comments that exploration and destruction is fun. Okay, now I will say, the exploration part of the game is neat. It's okay, it's fine. And doing the destruction is also, I guess, fine in itself. I'm sure as a kid you would have fun doing this kind of shit, but I don't really have that much fun doing it now, cause I don't know, it's just kind of repetitive. It's like, I mean, yeah, sure, if you want to get like the achievement by blowing up a bunch of shit as Decepticons, but in the Autobot campaign, you don't really get jack shit for doing it. You just get fucking X marks. But listen here, Marcus Gambibran. I like blowing up shit too, but you can only do so much of it until your brain puts down the controller and says, oh boy, what a lovely weather. However, he did criticize the game for its mission objectives that were repetitive and boring, and also criticized the combat as poor. And oh boy, don't worry, we'll get to the missions. We will get to them. But you're not wrong there, Brains Combiner. At least we agree on that, so good on you. So the game was nominated as well for the 35th Annie Award title of Best Animated Video Game, but lost to Ratatouille. Okay, I'm sorry, but that's just funny to me. I'm sorry. They lost to a rat! Alright, and now let's dive right into the fucking game. Now, shall we? Let's get this over with. So, if you start off the Autobot campaign, you start off as Bumblebee. If you play the Decepticon campaign, you start off as Blackout in the military base. And with Bumblebee, you start off in the suburbs. Now, if you want to explore, if you want to just explore and just enjoy the sights and just drive around as a 1967 Camaro, if you want to just do that, also I know I probably got that car model wrong, please forgive me, I'm not good at this shit. So if you want to just like drive around and just enjoy the sights, go meep meep, and take in everything that this new game has bestowed upon you, don't fucking bother, because Optimus will just fucking interrupt you every few minutes to go, Bumblebee, head to the media lab. So of course you head off to the first mission, and most of these missions involve you either having to reach certain checkpoints before some enemies do, boss fights, protecting something so it doesn't blow the fuck up, boss fights, killing enemies, having to destroy certain things, having to destroy certain things in different locations, and that's pretty much how it goes. That's pretty much all of these missions in a nutshell. All of these missions involve just you either having to race another Decepticon to another location before they reach it, because otherwise you'll fail and start the whole thing all over again, or having to destroy enemies, destroy things before the timer runs out, and the Hoover Dam mission, which is the most infamous one for me, being the most absolutely fucking god-awful part of the game for me. Okay, so let me get this Hoover Dam mission out of the way. So one of the missions involves you having to destroy the cooling fans, and what that means is that you would have to drive this long tunnel all the way to the end of it, and then having to blow it up, and then Optimus goes, "Get clear of the blast," for the fucking fifth or fourth time. And note this, you have to drive and watch out for the debris falling out from the ceiling. And of course you have weapons on your car mode, so that's not too difficult, all things considered, right? You can just blast them out of the way. You can just go vroom and just go pew 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 and just blast them out of the fucking way. But that doesn't matter, because what's gonna happen is that you'll just fucking flop around and just drive all fucking willy-nilly against the debris. It doesn't matter if you're shooting it, you'll still fucking collide around like an elderly person trying to get up after falling in a McDonald's. Sorry, I just had to get that out of the way. Okay, let's get back to the game, shall we? Now, of course, as I said, most of these missions are not worth going that deep into, because there's not a lot of variety when it comes to these. So let's instead go into the characters that you get to play as. You get to play as Bumblebee, you get to play as Jazz, Ironhide, Optimus, and that's pretty much it. You don't get to play as Ratchet, which is weird. Very weird. It's weird. But at the same time, you don't really see him until the cutscene where the rest of the Autobots arrive on Earth. You don't really see Ratchet for the rest of the game, which is kind of strange. Okay, that's okay, fair enough. But then again, I don't think I want to hear somebody talking about a male human person about their pheromone levels, meaning that they want to mate with somebody. But that's just me. Okay, so what about those bosses, huh? What about the bosses that you get to fight as in the Autobot campaign? Well, you mainly fight Barricade as Bumblebee, and you get to fight characters such as Megatron and Starscream, and surprisingly, newcomer Shockwave, who was not in the 2007 movie, but it's great to see him here. I actually do like his form or his look in this game. Really do like it, and he's also a triple changer in this. Very neat stuff. I also thought that the boss fight for Shockwave was actually pretty neat as well. I mean, well, all things considered, not exciting, but because it's mostly just like you throw shit at him and then he transforms and then you fight him and then he goes to another location, rinse and repeat. That's pretty much all you do. Now, let's dive into another thing with this game. Okay, look, I'm just gonna say this right now. If you weren't aware from my rambling and ranting a few minutes ago, yes, I'm gonna be all over the place. I'm not an in-depth reviewer, okay? So don't expect the most in-depth shit from me, okay? I'm just talking as I go, and I'm just talking about my thoughts and opinions on the game nowadays. The game itself, it's not terrible. It's not terrible. It's not terrible at all. It's not the worst thing I've ever played. But at the same time, I can't really let go of the fact that the driving in this is just so fucking clunky at times. It really is. And this game had its share of glitches as well, which really fucking stopped the game from progressing for me. For example, there's one mission where I had to play as Starscream and protect both Brawl and Bone Crusher. That doesn't sound too bad, doesn't it? Of course it doesn't. Well, what if I told you that the game would kind of soft lock me into a point where, so you have to protect both Brawl and Bone Crusher. So you have to go to each person, to each con, and destroy the certain vehicles and destroy the things that are firing them, keeping them pinned. Not too difficult. But then for some reason, Bone Crusher, or I think it was Brawl, I don't really remember, decided to then move to the other Khan's spot. And I tried to, if that happens, if you try to stop them, if you try to fucking blow up the fucking turrets that are keeping them pinned, it's not gonna fucking work. Why? Because the Khan is not supposed to be there. So the fucking turrets and tanks are just gunning him down, and yes, the HP bar for him is going down, so there's nothing you can do. So you just have to restart the whole mission again, which is not like too much, all things considered, but it really is fucking irritating. It really fucking pissed me off. And during the Bone Crusher mission, where I was supposed to only protect him, he got stuck in a fucking wall, and I tried to fucking move him from it, but he just would not fucking budge. And I stood there for like 5, 6, 7 fucking minutes until this fucking wet, flaccid bastard finally decided to fucking move, and I finally was able to progress along with my mission. Jesus fucking Christ. And again, the Hoover Dam mission, I'm looking at you, the Hoover Dam mission. Why was everything so fucking clinky, conky, fucking conky, baffled? This is not meant to be a negative review. It's not meant to be negative at all. It's just that I just did not enjoy my time with this game. I just didn't. I mean, yeah, of course, as a kid, you don't pay attention to this kind of shit when you, You don't pay too much attention to it. But now, after replaying this, I couldn't help but just notice all the fucking wonky physics. At least on my end, that's how most of the game was for me. But I did have some hilarious moments as well, where I was playing as Blackout and I was supposed to fight Ironhide, and when I was supposed to go and take some cover, I went into my helicopter mode, and the fucker just like annihilated me out of the sky, which proceeded me to fucking kamikaze into a fucking building. What the hell? Oh my god! Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, this fucking game was a trip. But let's go into one more area about the game itself, which is the voice acting, which is, again, what I do for a hobby. So, of course, I paid attention to a lot of stuff in this. The voice acting, for the most part, is good. It's really good. It's really good. As I mentioned, the people who are voicing the characters that they play in this game, really good. Really good. The acting is really good. Now, of course, there is one thing that really kind of confused me. It was near the end of the Decepticon campaign where you play as Megatron, and you're supposed to fly towards the building where Optimus is waiting for you, where you have to climb the fucking thing. And once you fly to the building, Megatron starts speaking, but it's clearly not Frank Welker.
The glory of destroying the traitor Prime will be mine!
Now, again, it could be, but at the same time, I don't think it is, because this just sounds like a random 30-year-old dude that they just picked off the street because because apparently Frank Welker was probably busy on that day, so they were like, oh yeah, hey, shit, we forgot to record one line with Frank, but hey, let's just get this one dude off the side of the road, and hey, just read this line, okay? I feel like that's the case. I mean, probably not the fact that they picked off some random dude off the street, but I don't know. I really want to know the backstory behind this, because why was this just some random dude? Anyways, there's not a whole lot more I can say about the voice acting. I mean, again, the voice acting is really good. It's really good, so I'm not gonna knock it that much. It's really good. Now, the cutscenes. The cutscenes. There were some cutscenes that were, I feel like they were supposed to play for a whole lot more longer, but they either didn't have the budget, or they just wanted to save time, and this was a deadline kind of reason why they didn't bother having the cutscenes play for so long. because there are some cutscenes in here that only last for like a couple of seconds. For example, this cutscene where we see both Starscream and Bone Crusher standing on an airfield while a bunch of jets go in the opposite direction, where Starscream goes,
"None shall stand in my way."
Like, why? Why was that, like, huh? Why was the cutscene so short? And why does Bone Crusher look like a crab? And this other cutscene with Megatron, where Blackout is flying behind him, and just watch. Why? Why were there so many cutscenes that lasted for like only a couple of seconds? Why? Was there a reason for this? I would like to know the reason for it. Comment down below if any of you actually know. But I just don't get it. Why? Now, okay, I know that most of this review has been all over the fucking place. I mean, you could say the same thing about the game itself. But I just couldn't. I just don't. This game, it's interesting. It really is interesting. It was so bizarre going back to this. Like, going back to this nowadays. It was so bizarre. And again, it wasn't terrible. It was not terrible at all. But it's not a game that I would want to go back to again. It just isn't. And I'm very much looking forward to my torment because the next game on my list is Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. Yes, the PS2 version, which is the one I don't fucking like. So that's gonna be fun. Stay tuned for when I stream that shit on my Twitch. Now, another thing that this game also has is cheat codes. Ooh, gets you. Now, of course, this isn't to be, this is not too unexpected because, of course, a lot of games in the PS2 era had cheat codes. So, let's go over the list of cheat codes that we have. We have unlock all missions, infinite health, no vehicles running on the street, and no tanks or cops attacking. Unlock the Cybertron missions. Oh yeah, that's right, the Cybertron! Now, once you do finish both the Autobot and Decepticon campaign, you get a Cybertron level for both campaigns, where you play as Optimus and the other where you play as Megatron. And it's pretty much just, it's nothing that much to be excited about. It's only just a mission where you have to kill, I think it was like 100 enemies. And yeah, it's I guess it is nice to see Cybertron in the Bayverse form. But I kinda wished I would have been able to explore Cybertron, at least this version of it, because we don't really see much of it. Other than Dark of the Moon. We don't really see much of it. Of course, Dark of the Moon and both The Last Night. But that's about it. And we also have unlock G1 Optimus Prime. Now this is a really neat one because once you input this cheat code, you get to unlock the G1 version of Optimus Prime, and it's okay. It's okay. It's definitely. I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It looks really, really neat. It looks really neat. I'm glad that they kept it. Glad that they kept the fucking truck form as the same as it was in the G1 cartoon. Because why do I say this? Well, we'll get to that. Now the next one is for the G1 Jazz repaint, and I kind of would have hoped that this was also going to be like a similar thing for G1 Optimus Prime, but all it really does is just give some repaints from Jazz's G1 counterpart. It's nothing much to write home about. It's fine, I guess. It's not that much different, but to be fair, I would have honestly preferred the enhanced G1 Jazz, because at least it changes the top of his head to the actual color of that it was in the G1 cartoon. But oh well, I guess I'm asking for too much. And next one on the list is Generation 1 Starscream repaint, and this is also a similar thing with Jazz. All it really does is just give a G1 coat of paint to the Bayverse Starscream, and it's fine. It's okay. I mean, it's fine. I mean, what else can I say? I mean, except you're welcome. And the next one on the list is Unlock Robovision Optimus Prime. I don't really know what this is supposed to be. I don't. Oh, never mind. I see it now. It just removes the flames from Optimus. That's interesting. Okay, anyways. And last but not least, you have Unlock Unlimited Ammo and Unlock G1 Megatron, which this is really fucking cool. I'm glad that you get to unlock both G1 versions of both Optimus and Megatron. Kind of was hoping that this was going to be the same thing for the other characters, but I guess that's wishful. I guess that's a little bit too much to ask for. But so we all know how in the G1 how in G1 Megatron transforms into a gun. But in this one, apparently that was also too much to ask for, because in this one he doesn't transform into anything. All he does is just do a little spin and just hover, or just glide, fly in robot form, and that's pretty much it. I mean, yeah, it's still G1 Megatron, but I'm still kind of hoping for more instead of just you do a little twirl and I can fly. Nothing can stop me now, Prime. Also, I'm sorry, but the last fucking mission where you play as Megatron and you have to lure Optimus out of his fucking hiding spot is so fucking dumb. I'm sorry, but it just is. What kind of Prime are you? Oh, Prime, I shall destroy destroy everything around you. You better come out until I level this whole fucking city down to ashes, and until you destroy a lot of fucking shit, that's when apparently he decides, oh, you know what, now is a good opportunity for me to come out. One shall stand, one fall. Shut up! God, what kind of fucking Prime? How are you just gonna sit in a fucking cubbyhole and just wait and just watch this bitch total everything, and that's when you decide to come out? What kind of sense is that? Optimus Prime, more like Optimus Crime. Oh, and also, the fucking cops that will continuously keep shooting you and targeting you during the Megatron fight or any other fight, yeah, they can piss off. Yeah, oh my god, these fucking cops, man! Holy fucking shit! It doesn't even help the fact that these cops are fucking firing at you in the background. And your health is like slowly decreasing. Like, Megatron wasn't even the one that killed me, it was the fucking cops! Like, Jesus fucking Christ, like, fuck off, man! This is such fucking bullshit, I swear. Fucking, you guys should be firing at the one who's clearly causing destruction. Which is not me, but Megatron. There we go! Fucking hell, finally! Just fucking, I am trying to fight, I'm trying to fight Megatron, I'm trying to save you guys, I'm trying to fucking restore peace to this fucking planet, I'm trying to help you guys. Stop fucking shooting me, I'm trying to help you! And the same also goes for the helicopters, but how about we just move on from this thing, alright? Sound good? Okay, let's go. Like, look at this nonsense! Oh, destruction? Really? I don't give a shit. I really do not fucking give a shit. At all. In the fucking slightest. Okay. But again, if there are people who enjoy this game, if you really do love this game and it's very nostalgic for you and you love it, more power to you. I'm very happy to hear that you do like this game. But I just can't. I just don't. It's so fucking bizarre. Cutscenes should have lasted way more longer, and I feel like you don't really get enough of the characters' personalities in this game as a whole. Which is why I like the DS versions, because I looked at the cutscenes for both the Autobot campaign and the Decepticon campaign, and the characters' personalities shine so much more in those adaptations. I was really hoping that the same would have been done for the PS2 version, but it just wasn't. It's so disappointing to me that they didn't even bother doing any of the character personalities in the in the main console version, which is what everyone mostly bought. Because at that point, because at that time, everyone already had a PS2. At least most people, I imagine, probably had a PS2. And there's just not that much dialogue or exchange going on with the characters. They could have easily implemented character dialogues and interactions and exchanges during battles, because that's what they did a lot in the War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron games, and that is what made the High Moon Studios games so good, because even the battles got you really engaged, because characters would exchange dialogues with each other, and I don't know, like, and in those games, I know it's not fair to compare those games to this, but they could have easily done what the DS versions did and shown more of the characters' personalities. Now, yeah, of course, they did show it with of course Jazz and Ironhide and Optimus, of course, but not so much with the Decepticons. The Decepticons mostly just ended up being the absolute same. There was just nothing to them. They were just pretty much the same, copy and paste, like, personalities, in my opinion, at least in this game. Maybe there was something that I missed, but I mean, what else can I say? It is a movie tie-in game. It did tie into a movie. But if I'm being very honest, I would rather watch the 07 movie than play this again, because I did not have a good time with this. And again, if any of you guys did have a good time with this, I'm glad. I'm really glad. Post your comments down below of what your favorite memories were from playing this game. Please let me know, because I do want to hear your guys' experiences on this game. But just unfortunately, my experiences were not the best. I did not enjoy going back to this after so many fucking years. And I'm sure Revenge of the Fallen on PS2 was going to be even more frustrating. Also, the noise for Frenzy in the Starscream missions absolutely irritated the fuck out of me. Stop fucking talking, please. Whew, okay, alrighty-dighty, we are done with that. Oh boy, this was a review long in the making, because, okay, let me just say this. I created the script for this many months ago. I created the script for this last year. It's been officially a year since I wrote this fucking script. I was planning to make a review of it at the time, the second I finished the script, but I just wasn't feeling too motivated to do any of it, and I don't know. I just wasn't feeling that motivated at the time, and I'm sorry that it took this long for me to do it. I know I don't know if I even said on my community page, I don't know if I said on my community page that I was gonna review this game, but I still feel bad for for dragging it out this long. But I'm really glad that I finally got to talk about it. Now, of course, another game saga that I plan on talking about is the Cybertron games, because I really also enjoyed those. I recently played through both of them, and I had such a fantastic time with them. So stay tuned till that, because I am definitely going to be talking about those games. And yes, the review is going to be all over the place, as was this one.
I've come.
And you guys probably did notice a lot of my stuttering, and stuttering in this whole review, and how I sometimes freeze in my phrases. It's because I stutter. I stutter a lot. And I did so many fucking takes while trying to record this, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna fucking wing it, and I'm just gonna talk, and if I stutter a lot, then I just don't give a shit, because I would rather just get this over with instead of just doing so many fucking takes because of me stuttering the entire time. I mean, this whole review was like 30 to 40 fucking minutes, and I would rather just get my thoughts out instead of just trying to redo every single fucking take. But that was Transformers 2007, the game. Again, let me guys know in the comments what were your experiences with it. Did you enjoy it? Did you also despise it as much as I did? And talk in the comments. Just talk about it. And with that, I shall see you guys in the next review. I don't know what the next one will be. We will see. I do not know, but I was at one point planning on redoing my Dino Crisis saga of reviews. I was planning on doing those, but we'll see. We'll see how all that turns out. But with that, thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I shall see you all, my lovely crackheads, in the next one. Love y'all. Peace.